All right, so a couple more things left, then some fun. And so here's an important question that we should constantly be asking ourselves, and that's, are white people allowed to be a part of the conversation about race? It's common sense, right? It's common sense. Of course they should be a part of a conversation about race. Conversations about race are how we are going to repair this country. If you tell them that they're boxed out, we are creating segregation in our own minds, okay? This next person that's coming up works for an amazing company called Prager University. And he hits the ground as a one-man act, one white boy, a lot of college campuses, and he asks some very important questions. And here's what's really interesting. White liberals like to be offended for us. They don't ask us how we feel as Latinos or as black people. They have decided that they can be offended for us. And Will has actually seen this firsthand, so I do want to play this video real quick.
Hola amigos, this is Will Witt with PragerU. Today we're at UCLA talking to college students and on Olvera Street talking to Hispanics in honor of Halloween and to see if my outfit is offensive. Dang it. Would you guys like to chat with us today? No? That's what we want to talk to you about. Hola. You find my outfit offensive?
Yeah.
You find it offensive? Do you find it offensive?
Maybe a little.
Do you think my outfit is offensive?
Are you Mexican?
No.
Yes.
I think it reaffirms stereotypes that are offensive to people.
You think people really think Mexican people are like this and carry around marachas?
No, I don't think people actually think that.
Do you find my outfit offensive?
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
Because it's not your culture?
Cultural appropriation? Why do you say that?
Because you're not, like, Mexican.
You think Mexican food is like cultural appropriation?
No.
Someone else's culture that we've kind of taken. Is this cultural appropriation? No comment.
You don't really understand what their culture means and what it means to wear these things, like the hats and the maracas. You know, you sort of have to understand where all of this comes from for it to not be cultural appropriation.
It's not yours.
Can I just ask you, do you like my costume?
I like your mustache. Monthly.
Does my outfit offend you?
You look, no. You look nice.
Thank you. Do you like my costume?
Yes.
Does it offend you?
¿Es ofensivo?
No.
No, nothing. That's good.
Mi guapo?
This is beautiful.
Beautiful. Acabo. Are you guys insulting me?
No, it's not.
Insulting me in Spanish? Do you like my outfit?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Does my outfit offend you?
No, not at all.
Some people get offended by what I'm wearing.
No, it's not. It's not offensive. I think it's you're in the right atmosphere.
Yeah. Lo único dice de mostacho, no original.
No original. Do you know who sold me this?
No idea.
Mexicans.
Oh, really?
So you're white and you get offended, but then Mexican people who sold me this and made me this don't get offended.
Noticed that, yes.
Seems kind of weird, doesn't it?
I love it, actually.
You think it's offensive?
No, not at all.
Some people get really offended by this. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, just you're not Mexican, so people think that you have to be Mexican to wear that.
I'm celebrating Mexico.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you Mexican?
I am.
See?
I'm not wearing it.
See? That's okay. Maybe we should swap outfits.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop being offended for us. Please welcome to the stage, Will Witt.
Hola. So, in case you didn't notice, I'm not black. I'm also not Mexican. But I think it's very, very important for me to be here. And first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone here and to Candace for putting this on. This is amazing. Thank you. This is great. You know, I was at the Women's March yesterday, actually, which was about, I think, 25,000 people in downtown LA, and I can tell you I didn't get the same amount of love from them that I'm getting from you guys now, so that's a very nice thing. It's so funny to see what those people at the Women's March are actually fighting for. You know, I go and I talk to these women, again, like Candace said, these white liberals, and I say, what are you fighting for today? Why are you here? And they say, oh, you know, I want to abort my child at 9 months, illegal immigrants, and I'm fighting for the people who couldn't make it to this march today. And I said, people who couldn't make it to this march today, what people are those? And they're like, oh, all the minorities who couldn't make it here because they're oppressed in America, because Trump is oppressing them. And I said, maybe they just don't want to come to your stupid march. That's what's really going on. But as you can see from this video we just played, it seems like the left thinks that they control how minorities think and feel. That they get to tell them when they're supposed to be offended. Those Mexicans in the video on Olvera Street to the left, those are token Mexicans. I bet they just have internalized racism. Stupidest thing I've ever heard. We live in a culture and a society where being offended has become a recreational pastime. This is what a Navajo Indian told me when I went to the Navajo Reservation in Window Rock, Arizona. I made a video where I went to California State University, Northridge. Don't say that, that's not the right thing. Where I went to that campus and I dressed up as a Native American, a guy who you will hear from later, Black Mike, he dressed up as a black pilgrim. And we went there for Thanksgiving giving out pumpkin pie. And we thought it was gonna be great, you know, and it turns out it wasn't. And a teacher at the university brought her entire class out to kick us off campus and yell at us. They were yelling death threats, they ripped off my costume, and they made us leave the campus. And I thought it was very, very strange. So I decided to put it to the test. And so I went to the Navajo Indian Reservation, 900 miles outside of LA, to see what they thought about it. And the results are exactly as you'd expect. Not one of them was offended by cultural appropriation. Not one of them thought the Washington Redskins name was offensive, and not one of them wanted other people to get offended on their behalf. It was funny how much they actually loved it, that we were celebrating their culture. It's cultural appreciation, not cultural appropriation. It seems that nowadays people are going to college and they're coming out stupider than when they went in. I only did 2 years at university until I dropped out. I couldn't take it anymore and I had to go and work for Turning Point first, then PragerU to help change America. And these people, these young people who I talk to, they're not born offended. You can't be born offended. It has to be something that is taught. Leftist professors teach their students how horrible America is, how terrible white people are, and above all else, my culture is not your damn prom dress. That's what they teach them. Which is made even funnier that 80% of college professors are actually white. Virtue signaling academics are teaching impressionable college students what to think, not how to think, in turn creating an entire generation of students who believe getting triggered is the norm and who shame those who wish to celebrate another culture's identity. So what does all this mean? All of this getting offended, white liberals getting offended. It really means that white liberals are the most racist people in America. Love that. They think their virtue signaling antics are helping minorities, but in reality, it undermines them. You can hear them now. Black people are being oppressed in America. It's up to us as white liberals to defend them. Let's go tell white people they can't have braids. That'll tell everyone we're not racist, right? No, it's actually quite the opposite from that. When you do this, you make it seem like minorities can't think for themselves. Black people aren't asking you to get offended for them. You're doing it for yourself so that other people around you will think that you're woke. But let me tell you something, white liberals. There is nothing woke about caring about black people's feelings when you then turn around and advocate for the same programs and policies that have kept African Americans down in America for decades. You think about something like affirmative action, you know? Affirmative action sounds great on paper, but affirmative action is racist all the way through. It basically says as a premise, African Americans, Hispanics are not as smart as white people, so we need to give them a leg up so they can get into these positions. But the reason why African Americans and Hispanics aren't in these positions is because of the economic oppression that the Democrats have put on them for the last 60 years. You fix the welfare state and you fix the schools in these communities, you won't need affirmative action. It's funny, a study actually just came out that shows when Democrats talk to minorities, they dumb down their speech. When they give speeches, they dumb down their speech. They use simpler words so that they can understand them, because minorities can't understand them. Is that not racist? This is what we call pandering. Think of someone like Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, what do you all, our favorite politician? Our favorite politician. Yeah. Lock her up! Lock her up! Oh, I love it. Hillary Clinton, what's one thing you always keep in your purse? Oh, hot sauce. Hot sauce. I always keep hot sauce in my purse. You don't? That's pandering. People like Hillary Clinton, who have time and time again put their own wealth and fortune above minority issues while in office, don't suddenly get a free pass because they say, I keep hot sauce in my purse. It's disrespectful to black people, and honestly, it's insulting. They did the same study with conservatives, and guess how conservatives talk to minorities? Just like they talk to everybody else. So for me, becoming a conservative, I haven't been a conservative forever, no way. I used to work for a Democrat senator back when I was in high school, mostly to impress this girl who I knew, but I was also on the left. And I was an English major, worthless degree, and I was in my intro to sociology class. And I remember my TA in my class, she came up to me, pointed at me, there was a black girl sitting next to me, and she said, you are oppressing this girl next to you just because of the color of your skin. You're white privilege. And the girl, the black girl, she looks at me, she's like, I don't know what's going on, this is really awkward for me. And I was like, yeah, I don't really think I'm oppressing you. And that was like a moment where I realized, like, maybe these things that the left are saying are wrong. This girl doesn't think I'm oppressing her. I don't think I'm oppressing her. But this white TA at a $50,000 a year university has the right to come and tell me that I'm oppressing them. This is how you create a victim culture in America. The main message that I want to get across to you guys today is that these white liberals and politicians who claim to have your best interests at heart don't care about you. They are doing it for their own selfish gain. They champion minority struggles as their own to make themselves feel better in virtue signals. But in reality, they know nothing about what is going on in your communities. They have used minorities for votes for far too long, and it's time to end it. But you know who does care? Conservatives and Donald Trump. That's who cares. Someone who has done more for the black and Hispanic community than any politician in the last 30 years. But the mainstream media doesn't know that. CNN doesn't say that. Conservatives care because when you succeed, everybody succeeds. Conservatives are the party of America, the party of patriotism. And we realize that the only way for our country to be the best is for everyone living in it to be the best. I'm going to end with this, that you guys have been here today, and you've heard from some amazing speakers, Candace and everyone else, and you've learned so much. But why are you here if it's not to take those ideas into the communities that you live in and spread them around as much as you can? We as conservatives, the people who believe in the values of America and freedom, can no longer sit down and not say anything. This is why California is the way that it is, because conservatives have capitulated to what the left has wanted for too long. We have to stand up and fight. And yes, you're going to lose some friends probably for the values that you are saying, but that's part of the bargain. for trying to protect this country and keep us safe. And that's what we have to do. What defines every American is not the color of their skin, but the ideas that they hold. And the left has manipulated those ideas into a never-ending struggle that aims to destroy America and keep minorities down forever. It's up to us to end this. Thank you.